What's up, guys? It's Nate with another honest review here. So we're gonna be doing the Bob Long Onslaught today. If you haven't watched my reviews before, I have 10 categories, and I give each category a score out of 10. At the end, you get a score out of 100. That way, if you watch this review and you watch another review, you can kind of compare the two markers. Now, a lot of this is going to be personal preference, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. You might feel differently or something might not be as big of a deal to you, so just, watch the review and take from it what you will. So, I'm going to jump right into it. First category is packaging. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Comes in this nice soft case, neoprene soft case. I didn't zip it up all the way there. Neoprene soft case, 2 zippers. 3 zippers, I guess. This front pocket here, the zippered pocket. It's just a pocket. You can put whatever you want in there. The next pocket holds a barrel, all your barrel kit. It can hold 1, 2, 3, 4 backs, a barrel bag, and a tip. So we're going to pull that out so you can see it during the review. And this last back pocket here just holds your marker. That's it. That's that's the whole case. It's nothing crazy, but it is a pretty big improvement over a year or so ago. A couple years ago, they were just sending guns in boxes, and there's no hard no case or anything. So packaging gets an 8 out of 10. It's a huge improvement from what they were doing before, but I think there's a ways to go. If you look at like Planet Eclipse, Dye, DLX packaging is quite a bit, nicer. So 8 out of 10 there. Looks, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a pretty sharp looking marker. I'll throw the barrel together around so you can see it better. The thing with Bob Long guns that I like is they come in a lot of different colors. So, it's not just black, red, blue, silver, maybe green. You can get any, if you order one brand new, you can get any anodizing color you want. And then any, then you can find used ones. Like I bought this used and it has this sick teal and purple acid wash type anodizing. So that's cool. And then I gave it a 9 out of 10 for looks because the milling isn't as crazy as Bob Long's usual milling, and I think that's a big thing for me is crazy milling. It catches my eye, like flashy, really cool, unique type stuff. And this is more just kind of sleek and slimmer. There's it looks cool. I'm not saying it doesn't look cool, but there's a couple other things that I would like to see a little bit crazier milling, I guess. That's why I gave it a 9 instead of a 10. Let's see. Shot quality. Okay. I'm going to get a 7 out of 10. So if anybody's ever shot an Insight or an Onslaught, or very similar, it's a very fast shot. It's not super... It's smooth and it's fairly quiet and it's soft, but it's very quick. So there is a little bit of a feedback from when you shoot. And that's from the bolt. It goes forward very fast and it slams back super fast. And because of that, they get the good air efficiency and the good air efficiency and the insane, this is capable with the right settings and the right loader of shooting 33 balls per second or something. They had it. Bob Long has, ran it over a Virtue clock and got a reading of 30 or 33 balls per second or something crazy like that. So I would like to see it slowed down just a little bit for my, I don't mind the little bit of feedback, but you don't need to shoot 30 balls a second because, why? There's nothing... There's no field out there allows that. Maybe there's some very specialty niche market for shooting 30 balls a second. But it's fun. You go outside. I'll go outside and do it sometimes just for fun to shoot the tree at 30 balls a second. Yeah, it's cool, but you're never going to use that. There's no reason for it. So shot quality is a 7. It's not super smooth, but it's not terrible. It does shoot pretty well. The Onslaught has a small bumper in the back. It's a spring-loaded bumper, so you do get a little bit extra noise from that bumper. You know, when the bolt comes back, it hits that bumper, and it kind of makes like a pinging or like a metallic sound. So that's shot quality. Ergonomics, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I prefer the metal. You know, all this new stuff's got rubber injected shit all over it. You know, the whole thing's basically covered in plastic and rubber. I prefer the metal, very, you know, stout feeling. Back when I started playing, you know, if a gun had plastic on it, that was, you know, people thought junk. You know, plastic's no good, feels cheap or whatever. But I kind of still have that mentality, I guess. So I like the all metal. There's nothing, you know, crazy sticking out. You can hold it up over the top. There's a lot of room right here between the trigger frame, just fine. You can rest it. That's how I usually shoot. You know, you can hold it, however, very comfortable to hold. So, ergonomics, give it a 9 out of 10. The only thing that I wish, really it doesn't affect me at all, but I would like to see the trigger have a magnet, I guess, would be nice. That'd be kind of an ergonomic thing. The triggers are all just spring return. They're still excellent. I love the Bob Long triggers, but I think they could be improved slightly. And then the front frame screw isn't recessed, so if you do grab it like this, you know, you can feel it pushing on your thumb. All the new guns are recessing that frame screw, so it's smooth right here. Not that big of a deal, but that's why I gave it a 9 instead of a 10. Reliability. Bob Long guns have a bad rap in terms of reliability. The Onslaught did a lot of the issues that people had with the Insight were fixed through Bob Long, but they already had a bad rap, so they came out with this, and it supposedly is like the updated version of the Insight. So the reliability is a little bit better. But for me personally, every time I put air in this, aired it up, no leaks, go out, shoot paintballs. I clean it after every time I play, so I'll go out and shoot 2 cases of paint, come home, clean my gun, and it's ready for the next time. And I haven't had any problems doing that. You know, it's not super hard to maintain or anything. So, reliability, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Some people have had some weird issues with this kind of platform, but I haven't had any issues. So, reliability is 8 out of 10. Efficiency, air efficiency, okay. Giving it a 10 out of 10. So the only thing that I think may top this marker in air efficiency is the Bob Long G6R. It's a poppet valve marker, but for a spool valve marker, this thing's insane. There's a video on YouTube right now by Your PB Friend, I think it was, and they had a 77 tank, and they had it, I don't know if it was all the way full or if it was only at like 4,100 or 4,000 or something, but they shot 15 pods through the gun on that tank of air, shooting, you know, 280, 290, whatever, you know, field velocity, and then still had air, and they ran out of paint. They didn't think they were going to get through 15 pods. So you're talking, you know, 15, 16 pods. You're talking a whole case of paint on a 77 tank. So, you know, that's insane efficiency, especially for a spool valve. But even in general, there's not a lot out there that can compete with that kind of efficiency. So, efficiency is a 10 out of 10 for sure. Build quality, okay. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. There are some smaller screws, and it seems pretty solid. You kind of got to know what you're doing and be careful with the smaller screws. I would like to see wireless grip frame to body connections, and then there are a lot of small O-rings. There's like a couple of 1x3s, 1x4, and a 1x13 or something O-ring, and then there's a U-cup O-ring in the front of the bolt as well, or in the front of the can, I guess. And that's stuff that I would like to see, just regular size O-rings. Even if the marker had to be redesigned a little bit, make it a little bit bigger or bulkier, that's fine. It's very light. So, you know, to add another 2 ounces of weight to have standard sized O-rings, that way, if I'm at the field and I only brought one gun and I'm playing and all of a sudden, boom, my 1x13 O-ring starts leaking, nobody's going to fucking have that. Unless you luck out and there's another Bob Long player there, which, you know, not a lot of people shoot these, so, you know, having a 1x13 O-ring or a 1x3 O-ring at the field isn't, you know, if you don't have it with you, chances are you're done for the day, or you're going to have to borrow a gun or, you know, use a different marker or something. So I wish they'd just use some standard O-rings. So that's the build quality. I gave it a 7 out of 10 because of the, you know, the small O-rings and a couple real small screws. Serviceability. Okay, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. So the regulator's very easy to service. You just unscrew it. And, you know, you pull out, there's a piston and a spring or a shim stack in there. You pull it out, wipe it off, re-lube it, screw it back on. Regulator's done. Super easy. The bolt system is easy to service, but on the Onslaught, it's pretty easy or pretty difficult to get out. So what I mean by that is you either have to take a swab and there's a release button and you have to jam the swabs through to push it out, or you can try to put your finger through the feed neck and pull it out, because there's nothing on the back cap to grab. So you push the button and your hands are just sliding off the back cap. So, you know, I'd like to see a little bit more, you know, a little bit of something to grab onto here to pull this out. But once it's out, you know, it's real easy. Unscrew this back piece of the bolt here and wipe all the old lube off. You put a good amount of lube on these two back O-rings, a good amount of lube on the back of this shaft right here, a little bit of lube on the outside of this brass piece, a good amount of lube on this area, and then a drop of oil on each one of these O-rings, and you're done. And you can put it back together, it's ready to go. So it's pretty easy. So serviceability, I gave it a 7 just because it's a pain in the ass to push the engine out. So if you had to do something midday, you know, that's kind of annoying that it takes longer than most other quick release systems. So back together. Okay. Upgrades. 10 out of 10 for upgradability. So they make triggers, blackout screw and ASA and, you know, blackout kit for it. They've come out with upgraded feed necks. You can get the Bob Long barrel kit to match. You can also fit any autococker threaded barrel. They make different bolt tips. You know, the whole head of the bolt, they make 2 different or 3 different ones of those. Triggers, you know, different grips, different colored grips. They make a ton of different upgrades for these. So, yeah, that's, you know, upgradability is 10 out of 10. Anything that you would want to change about it. 4C eyes. So, you know, upgraded eyes. Anything you want to change about it, they make it. So, 10 out of 10 for upgradability. Programming, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Very standard paintball type. There's a screen on the back. You hold the trigger and turn the marker on, and then you roll through the programming modes using the trigger and the button to change the modes. Then you turn it off, turn it back on, your modes are saved. So it's got a decent OLED screen. Nothing crazy like the die markers are coming with now, but pretty good. So 8 out of 10. Add all those up, and you've got an 83 out of 100. So 83 out of 100 in all those categories. So the last thing I want to talk about is value. I added this in recently. I'm giving the value an 8 out of 10. You can pick one of these up. You know, it's the end of 2018. You're talking around $400-ish. You know, maybe a little bit more for a crazy anno, or a little bit less for a plain, you know, plain Jane colored one. Whatever, you know, around $400-ish. You can pick one of these up, and they're, you know, they shoot great. Very high-end feeling. They look fucking sweet. So I think it's a pretty good value. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the quick shooting video.